Now, you have a massive platform reaching millions of listeners, and you and I have talked about this before. You endorsed Joe Biden back in 2020, but this time around, you say you're not going to endorse anybody. Charlamagne, now is not the time, in my opinion, to sit this one out. Why not endorse Biden?
Why do y'all need us to say this if we don't feel comfortable saying it?
No, it's not that we need you to say it, but I think other folks need to hear, because, you know, getting facts out through the media seems to be very difficult.
I feel like I just spewed some facts.
Yeah.
Yes, but we need you to do it on your show.
But it struck me that in the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term, because historically, as you know, that woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words migrate.
All right, folks. Well, this should be fun. So the ladies of The View, who are universally regarded to be some of the dumbest people on television, had a bit of a struggle session this week with some of their guests, because one thing about The View is they are complete bots. They are complete NPCs for anything that the Democrat Party is currently saying. I would venture so far to say that they shill harder for the party than even CNN or MSNBC. And so it was funny to see their bubble get burst a little bit, because they had two specific guests on the show this week, which were Bill Maher and Charlamagne from The Breakfast Club. Now, if you know anything about those characters, you'll know they are both on the left. However, there are sometimes people who have, dare I say, independent thoughts. There are sometimes people who stray from their own party line, and both of them have been critics of, for instance, Joe Biden. Bill Maher in particular is critical of the quote-unquote woke, right, the far progressive cultural left. And the ladies of The View were a little bit flabbergasted by the fact that, hey, maybe some people on the left just aren't endless shills for the party. And check it out. We'll start here, where Bill is calling out the woke, as he usually does. And by the way, why does Bill Maher really call out the woke? It's not to defend the conservative side. It's basically to say, look, you guys are dooming our electoral chances as a party, right? So he's in some ways trying to help his own side by saying, drop the woke crap, drop the far left crap. But Sonny Hostin, who is just not a smart person, tries to call him out on it, and it just doesn't go well. It's just funny to watch. So let's start with that clip. Cue it up.
Well, I had a different question, but it struck me that in the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're
no, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected. Yeah. So the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term, because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words migrate.
Why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want.
Okay.
Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far left, but don't tell me the left
or maybe the super far right.
Well, he's talking about the left. Well, then
okay, but we talked about that. I mean, I think we agree about the danger of the super far right, and I can't say it enough. I think they're the bigger threat. But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
So you start off with that. And by the way, what was Sonny Hostin even trying to get at? This is part of why I say sometimes it's hard to react to The View, because there's not much I can say in response to her, because she's not saying anything. She's just trying to, I don't know, get out some type of gotcha. She has this look on her face that's like, I think I got him now. I think I confused him or whatever. And in reality, she just sounds really stupid. Okay. Oh, why do you use the term woke? You know, that's racist, right? And then Bill Maher's like, okay, let's call them the far left then. And then Sonny Hostin says, what about the far right, though? totally ignoring the question being discussed in the greater context of the show, totally ignoring the subject matter, just trying to deflect it to the far right. And it's very transparent there, right? There's not really any, shifty rhetorical tricks going on there. Sonny Hostin just outright sounds like a not very smart person. And notice just pure NPC behavior. There's not much to say other than that. But, Bill Maher's basically like, okay, well, then we could call it something else. What about the far right? It's just really stupid. Okay, here was very interesting. So now Joy Behar is asking him questions. And if you know one thing also about Bill Maher, it's that he sometimes criticizes Joe Biden. I would argue not enough. I would argue that he'll do this 10-minute rant about how bad Joe Biden is, and then it's like, but I'm still voting for him proudly, whatever. But according to Joy Behar, to criticize Biden, to point out very obvious things about Biden is actually wrong. Okay, how dare you not be a constant shill? And she seems very alarmed that, hey, Bill, maybe sometimes when you are remotely honest about Joe Biden, you may actually drive voters to Trump here. Take a look. It's just ridiculous and frankly kind of hilarious. Here you go.
So, but I'm nervous about saying anything against Biden because I feel, not that I have so much power, and you have some more than I do, obviously. But
I don't know about that.
Are you afraid that you might, influence people who are on the fence?
I think you lose all credibility. I do. I mean, my bond with my audience has always been I don't pull a punch.
Yeah.
My bond with my audience is you're not going to like everything I say, but I'm saying what I really think is true.
Right.
That's.
Notice very casually there in Joy Behar's question was an admission on her part that she is an entire shill. Like, you notice she said that. She says, I'm very scared to even criticize Biden because it may make the party not like me, or it may change people's minds. Oh, so you, again, are an NPC? You're a bot? You don't even say what you actually believe about the candidate? I mean, that's very interesting, right? I think that's very discrediting. But anyways, let's keep playing this here. Here's Bill Maher continuing to talk about Biden.
And look, Biden just presents as old. It's not really fair.
No.
Because he's almost the same age. Trump is almost the same age as him.
I know.
But Trump doesn't present that way. You look at somebody right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old.
Yeah.
Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, he's cadaver-like.
But his brain is good. He's still great.
That's debatable, by the way.
He should get out because he's just lost the faith of people. It's not fair. He's actually done a pretty good job. Yeah. But I said he's going to be Ruth Bader Biden. That's the term I used. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She stayed too long at the fair. Yeah. I remember Obama had her over to the White House, like in 2013, to hint, hey, spend more time with the grandkids. That would not be a good idea, Ruth. And she didn't take the hint, and she was not in good health, and she stayed too long, and she ruined her legacy and got the Supreme Court now to be a pretty right-wing organization. Said Biden shouldn't do that, but, ego, he's Dracula. He has crossed oceans of time to be here, and he's not going to give it up now.
Again, it's just so funny to watch. I mean, the NPCs of The View tried to get not so NPC, but still liberal Bill Maher to corner in some way. Hey, what about woke? What does that really mean? Bill Maher defines it. What about criticizing Biden? Bill very accurately responds, well, I'm an honest person. I say what I think. And then Joy Behar there is like, what? You actually say what you think? You don't just shill for Biden because he's the Democrat? Oh my gosh. Very funny to watch. Okay, then later this week, that was earlier, later this week, they had Charlamagne, the quote-unquote god. That's what he calls himself. He's certainly not a god. It's a pretty blasphemous name there. But anyways, if you know Charlamagne, host of The Breakfast Club, pretty big black power, far-left kind of guy. But he has been a little critical of Joe Biden over the past couple of years and, frankly, since the beginning, kind of, sort of. And he has said that he's not going to openly go out and endorse Biden in the 2024 election, even though he's made it seem pretty obvious he does plan to support or vote for the guy. Certainly won't be voting for Trump. But notice again, the Democrat shills, right? They are party shills, I'll say more specifically, of The View. Sonny Hostin here in particular, also not happy with Charlamagne, because if you'll remember, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you're not black. So check out that clip as well.
As opposed to what the actual, facts are.
What the data shows. Well, since this book is all about having real conversations, let's get to it. Let's get real. Now, you have a massive platform reaching millions of listeners, and you and I have talked about this before. You endorsed Joe Biden back in 2020. But this time around, you say you're not going to endorse anybody. Charlamagne, now is not the time, in my opinion, to sit this one out.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. I never said.
Notice how that's like their new purity test. That's their new virtue signal. Like, hey, post a black square, Black Lives Matter, wear your mask back in 2020. Well, now to the ladies of The View, it's like, if you're not shilling for Emperor Joe Biden, you're not posting and saying everything about him publicly, then you are betraying us. How dare you? So funny to watch. Okay.
I was sitting it out.
What you gonna do?
I'm definitely voting in November, but what I like to focus on is issues, not individuals. Like, when
but
you
why not endorse?
Huh?
Why not endorse Biden?
Because if I'm sitting here telling my listeners that, you have somebody out there who is a threat to democracy, you have somebody out there who said they want to, suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. You saw this person, try to lead an attempted coup of this country. So if I'm saying that about this individual, the choice is clear, right? And I've seen y'all do this on The View before. I saw y'all do this to Killer Mike when he was on The View, and Killer Mike literally sat here and said, hey, I supported Keisha Lance Bottoms. I supported Ralph Warnock. I supported John Ossoff, right, in Georgia. And he said, you should support the people that I've supported. You should support the person who the people I've supported are supporting.
Okay.
That's y'all opportunity to say, well, clearly he's talking about President Biden. Why do y'all need us to say this if we don't feel comfortable saying it?
No.
Because I'll break it down. The reason why some people on the left, like Charlamagne, Killer Mike, etc., are a little scared to openly endorse Biden is because to some degree, I mean, this is my read. You could read it a lot of different ways. But my take is because it's kind of embarrassing in 2024, is it not, to be supporting Joe Biden, who is not powerful. He's not a cool guy anymore. He's a disaster as a president. He seems 80,000 years old. He's just a mess, right? A lot of these people just, they don't want to have to just get on, even though they're like, we don't like Trump. They don't want to have to get there on their knees and say, yes, President Biden, because it's embarrassing. The whole act is embarrassing, especially in regards to someone like Joe Biden, who someone like Charlamagne may vote for, but is not the biggest fan of. But The View demands this like loyalty pledge, right? You must get on your knees and support Biden, all this and that. And, Charlamagne is just saying, I don't want to do it. He kind of sucks. I'll vote for him, but he sucks. I don't want to throw my energy and ruin my reputation on that. And it's just funny.
It's not that we need you to say it, but I think other folks need to hear, because, one of the things I'm sorry, jumped you. I'm sorry. But one of the things that we've been talking about is the fact that getting facts out through the media seems to be very difficult.
I feel like I just spewed some facts.
Yeah.
Yes, but
an
we need you to do it on your show.
Well, the reality is I think both candidates are trash. So but I am going to vote in November, and I'm going to vote my best interest, and I'm going to vote who I think, can preserve democracy. So if I think both candidates are trash and I don't feel like, endorsing one, would you rather me endorse an individual or endorse the fact that, hey, we need to go out here and protect democracy?
And by the way, I think it's incredibly powerful to use your platform just to draw the contrast. I actually tend to agree that I don't think an endorsement is somehow more powerful than reminding folks the other person tried to overturn our democracy. That breaks through.
Yeah. So again, to summarize it here, there's not much to say other than it's funny again to see the NPC bubble of The View just get totally burst. I mean, that's all I really have to say. I mean, I don't support Charlamagne. I don't support Bill Maher, but to their credit, they sometimes, again, stray from the party line, and The View can't handle that. Sonny Hostin and Whoopi Goldberg, they're like, you're not gonna go out and endorse Biden and make some cringe Instagram post about it? How dare you? How dare you? I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's about all I have to say about that. Just kind of funny to watch. And I think that also summarizes how maybe a lot of people on the left feel this time about Joe Biden, which is a big plus for us, is that they're not enthusiastic. Notice that. They're not enthusiastic. They're a little demoralized about him. And so that will translate, because some people, maybe not Charlamagne, maybe not Bill Maher, but some less involved people who lean towards the Democrats are going to be less inclined to vote. Turnout, I think, in many ways is going to decide this election, and that's why the ladies of The View are sort of low-key pushing here. No, tell people to go vote, come on. And he's just like, I don't want to do it. And they don't want to do it either. And that's the thing, is especially nowadays with how our elections work in terms of turnout, month of voting, mail-in, all this stuff, it comes down to like numbers. Back in the day, it was more so, how much can you sway the suburban voters? Now it's really, can your base turn out in bigger numbers than their base, because there's so many freaking people voting. It's just a huge system now. Shouldn't be that way, but that's the way it is. And frankly, I think the demoralization here of the left is funny to see, and it'll be very helpful to us. Okay, with that said, folks, let me know your thoughts. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and until next time, Alpha Moves Only, God bless. Have a very great rest of your weekend, and peace.